Welcome to Fitzdog Radio, your weekly podcast that I've been doing for, about 11 years. Not losing any steam. Look forward to it every week. And I got a lot of nice emails from people that have been watching my special that's on Amazon Prime. Got to have the Prime. Check out the Fitzsimmons Prime. It's a special from like 5 or 6 years ago. I don't know when my next special will come out because I don't know when I'm going to be doing stand-up again. Not regularly, not for full houses, not for the size of an audience that you need to do a special. You're not going to see any new specials from anybody for at least a year, if not 2. Unless people do like a Chappelle thing. If you're into that, that's cool. But I was ready. And now that hour is just sitting there with all this potential. So anyway, a lot to talk about this week. Mark Norman is my guest, and I interviewed him a few weeks ago, at least 3 weeks ago. I'm very backed up on my podcast. I got a bunch at once, and so I'm kind of rolling them out. But YouTube, if you want to watch this show instead of listen to it, go to the Greg Fitzsimmons channel on YouTube. You can watch this show. You can watch Childish. You can watch the Sunday Papers. And Sunday Papers is shooting up. If you're not listening to it, I highly recommend it. It's me and Mike Gibbons doing the paper every week. Most of you do listen to it, but if you haven't sampled it, check it out. I think you're going to like it. Comes out on Sundays. Listening, I just farted, first of all, about 20 minutes ago, alone in my office, and it was powerful. I had ice cream last night, and I'm lactose intolerant, and I know that that's going to cause me to fart, and that doesn't bother me. It really doesn't. I'm not so lactose intolerant that I shit my pants, but I'm lactose enough that it emits some pungent odor, which I use as a weapon around the house. And if I'm alone, quite frankly, I've never had a fart that I didn't enjoy. The only time I don't enjoy it is when I don't smell it. Anyway, more on that later. But I just listened to the Strokes' new album. They had an album come out a few months ago I hadn't listened to. I don't know if you like the Strokes. I love the Strokes. This new album is called The New Abnormal, and it's like their first album. It's like, this is it. It's just a fucking great pop album. It's not trying to be too cool. It's not too grungy. It's just pure fucking like throwback to 80s kind of pop. Rick Rubin produced it, and it is it's great. I try to recommend an album every week and a TV show. And me and my wife Erin, watched The Wire, all 5 seasons in about 5 weeks. And it is everything that I was promised. It was just fantastic writing, acting, beautifully shot. Just the casting, unbelievable. So many people went on to have big careers off The Wire. But some of the people could have worked a little harder on their Baltimore accent. Hate the Baltimore accent. It's repulsive to listen to. But if the show's going to be set there, I want to hear it from everybody, not just half of them who go deep into it. Omar, one of the best TV characters of all time. Anyway, if you haven't seen it, get into The Wire. If you need an HBO subscription, don't ask me. I jokingly said that once, and I got about 50 people emailing me at my website asking me for my password. I was kidding. All right, I'll give it to one person. First person that emails me, I'll give you my passcode, but that's it. Caught a rat last week. I'm not sure if I talked about this on the show or not, but I'll talk about it again if I have. We had a rat. I knew we had a rat because our fruit was being eaten off the counter, and there were poops, little rat poops, fucking everywhere. Every windowsill was covered in them, which led us to believe he was trying to escape. He wanted out. And I would have gladly let him out, except if I opened the door to let him out, I was afraid his other friends would come in. And so we locked him in the house, and waited. And what I did was, and I really hate rats. I never got, even living in New York all those years, I just never got used to them because it's not cute. There's not a little like U-shaped rat hole where they've got a hunk of cheese and then a glass of wine. It's not funny. It's not like the comics. It's fucking gross. And I think they're going to jump on me and bite my face. It's the one thing that freaks me out. Spiders, fine. Even mice, I'm okay with. But rats, no. So, so I set out some traps, and here's the key: is you don't set the trap the first night. You don't load the spring. You put out your peanut butter on the trap, and then you let the mouse go to town, or the rat. You let them enjoy some peanut butter and feel really comfortable in this trap that hasn't been set. So sure enough, I do that, and then the next night I set it, and I couldn't sleep. Because this is an animal, and I have dogs. And you know, what's the difference between a dog and a rat? It's still a living, breathing animal that's kind of cute in its own way, but kind of grotesque in another. But at the same time, I'm not a hunter. I'm not a killer. I've never killed an animal, and now it's my first time killing an animal. And so I hear the thing pop at like 3 a.m. and I can't sleep because I don't want to go inside in the middle of the night. I want to deal with it in the morning. And so I get up, and there he is, big black. They call it a roof rat here in California. Roof rats. They're black, which I felt bad about with the whole Black Lives Matter thing. But he fell off the counter, and I think that's it. We haven't seen any signs of another rat, except we have an orange vine outside our door, and I've seen rats jump up on that, and they steal all the fruit. I don't know why we grow fucking fruit. The rats eat it, and it attracts them to the house. So I think that's coming down this weekend. I think I'm chopping down the orange vine. Oh, what a week. Went to the beach a lot this week. It's been in the 80s all week. And you know, nice waves, good riding waves. I'm about 5 minutes from the beach on my bike, so I just cruise down, jump in the waves, come home, little outdoor shower, jump in the hot tub, feel like $1 million. But my body, I don't feel great about right. I don't have big body issues. As you can see, I've got, you know, what most would consider to be a pretty good body, except this thing that's happening is not good. And it's not so much that I worry because I spent my whole life too skinny. It just shows that I've given up. I don't want to give up during this pandemic. I don't want to be that guy that grows a beard and learns a language. I don't need another language. I got English. I'm not going anywhere. If I go somewhere, it's going to be Ireland or Australia. But, you know, being in a rut sucks. It's like when I'm doing comedy, and sometimes I realize I haven't written new jokes, and then you just feel like you're not reaching your potential. So I'm going to start exercising hard this week. I'm going to stop eating fatty foods, sugar. Live right, everybody. You heard it here. I'm going to live right. Are you living right? Are you trying? I hope you are. Don't give in to this shit. Because when it comes back, if you're out of shape and soft when this comes back, you're not going to be able to re-enter the workplace and the public sphere. You gotta stay on top of you. Stay sharp. I went golfing yesterday, and I lost my wedding ring. I keep it in a pocket of my golf bag because it hurts my hand when I swing with it, and I lost it. I've had it for 21 years, and it's very, at some point it fell out. It's very meaningful to me, obviously. I've been married 21 years. I've had the same ring. I never take it off my hand except to play golf. And it's got a little secret inscription on the inside that it only means something to me and my wife. It's this special rose gold that was like hammered down by this jewelry shop in Santa Monica that's out of business now. And it has kind of an oval, the width was kind of oval shape. It was very specific ring. And And I really freaked out. So I went back on the golf course, and the sun was going to be going down in an hour. And I spent an hour walking every inch of the course that I had hit my ball. And sadly, I had a shitty round, so I'm walking into the woods, and I don't know where it fell out. I'm walking up the fairway next to the green. Other golfers are looking at me going, why is this fucking guy wandering around the golf course alone? And I all the way up the first hole, the second hole, the third hole. And now I'm on the side of the third hole, and I remembered I had pulled out my wallet because I had lost a bet, and I was paying somebody. And that I realized that must have been where it happened. So there was like a 30 square yard area that I knew I pulled out my wallet. And I fucking shuffled my feet and stared straight down for like 35 minutes. And the sun was going down. And in the 11th hour, I looked down. There it was. Oh, thank God. From now on, I'm playing golf with my ring on. I had a friend, one of my best friends, met this girl, wonderful girl, and they decided to get married, and he bought her a ring. But this is a guy who was a kind of middle-class guy, and she came from money. And I believe he spent like $15,000 on this ring at a time when he didn't have that money. But I think he felt like he wanted her family to accept him. I don't know why he did it. It wasn't smart. And he forgot to insure it before he left the jewelry shop, which if you ever get married and you buy rings, you can insure it at the shop, which is what you need to do, because this was 5 days later. And she gave him the ring to hold. He put it in his glasses cover. And then at some point he put his sunglasses away and it fell out. And it could have been anywhere, like mine, anywhere. And we looked around. This was in the Bronx at Mosholu Park. And we looked around for an hour and a half. Sun went down. We're on our hands and knees. Couldn't find it. He came back the next day with a metal detector and did the entire course. Nothing. Never found it. A month later, wedding was off. It was off. I mean, it was for the best. They're both happily married to wonderful people. They both did very well. But that's all I was thinking about while I was searching for this fucking ring. Is this going to end the marriage? Is this what it's going to take? Everything was going so well. I don't know. Anyway, it made me think how much I wanted to find it, and I knew I was going to find it because I wanted it that bad against all odds. And I realized, like, when you really want something, you will get it. I really believe that, because it's about, if there's high stakes and you really care, then, and there's going to be a big reward for it, then you are going to focus like never before, and you're going to get it. And it was a life lesson. It really made me think about the things in my life that I cared about, where there was stake, like with stand-up, where I had no fucking money, I had nowhere to live, and I went for it, and there was no failure. There couldn't be failure. And so I took every opportunity I could, and I put myself into it 1,000%. And thank God it worked out, and has continued to work out with that same kind of focus my whole life. And I realized, like, now, what do I want now? What do I want? And I had to think about it for a while. And I think what I want is, well, I know I want to get in shape, and I think I want a brand new hour of stand-up. I think I want to this hour I was ready to tape for a special. I think I got to get rid of it. I feel like there's going to be a post-corona vibe in my head that I'm going to want to be different. And so I'm going to go after that. For the next year that I'm not on the road, I'm going to be writing every day, 5 days a week, an hour a day. And I'm just going to keep hammering it out with intention and focus and stakes. What are the stakes? That I want to be considered one of the best comedians in the business. That's the stakes. Anything short of that, and my career has been a failure. All right. Jesus, that got kind of serious. Let's get to some notes. You guys send me notes once in a while. I read them. This one is from Tyler Young. Should I say his last name? I just did. I wanted to relay to you what I heard as to how VHS, I talked about how VHS, while inferior to Betamax, the Sony Betamax, but apparently Betamax did not have nearly the porn catalog that VHS had. Also, Betamax machines were quite expensive at the time. So once again, porn was the reason why technology moved forward. The VHS was the next step. Before, and since then it's been high-speed internet, which is driven by porn. It's the number one moneymaker on the internet, or it was. I don't know if it still is. It seems like porn is all free now, but it used to be the driver of the internet. Who knows what, before that it was movies. It was porn movies. The first printing press, they say, was driven by nude pictures. Really, it really was. And I kind of went down the rabbit hole on this. And the first porn was cave drawings during the Paleolithic age, which was like 2 or 3 million years ago. I think that's right. I'm bad with dates, but I think 2 million years ago was the Paleolithic age. And it was like nude people. And if you look at the pictures, it's like guys with huge dicks, women with giant tits. I jerked off to it. I jerked off to 2 million year old porn. And dust came out of my dick when I came. And then after that, there was, the Romans. I remember being in, we went to visit Mount Vesuvius, which is, what is that, Pompeia, Italy. And there was all these little depictions of people dying from Mount Vesuvius. But there was one little, I don't know if it was some kind of a church, but it had the most pornographic images. Every fucking style of sex, every position, shit I'd never thought of was on the cave wall. There must have been a warning to kids before they went in there because, quite frankly, I was shocked. So yeah. What's next? Got to be virtual reality. I mean, I'm sure there's already virtual reality porn with fleshlights attached. And I don't know. I guess you stand naked with a fleshlight and virtual reality goggles. That must be pretty hot. That'll go to another level. How about virtual reality goggles and a fleshlight in an anti-gravity machine? How about that? Try getting married after that. Try having any kind of a relationship with the opposite sex after that. Let's do some colloquialisms. Here they are. Sayings. Stuff your grandparents said. Many of these from Ireland, Scotland, the British Isles, mostly, where they have a certain flavor for language. Danny Kaye says, I'm from Irish ancestry. And this is a quote from his grandparents. It's colder than a parson's dick. Sadly, that's something a young man would be familiar with in Ireland. The temperature of the priest's dick. And that's cold. That's a cold dick. Those are some cold cards and a cold dick. Edward Farrell says, my repressed Irish Catholic grandmother said, if you had half a brain, you'd be dangerous. Half? I don't know. Lately, I don't even think you need that much of a brain to be dangerous. I think a quarter of a brain is enough. Callum Ireland, he's from County Down in Northern Ireland, said, my granddad used to say anytime he saw an overweight person, he'd say, she definitely wasn't bullied at the trough. Ooh, that's harsh. So not only is he comparing her to a pig, she's an aggressive pig. Colin Finn, wow, these are super Irish today. Colin Finn said, when I was a young man, my dad and I saw a broad. Saw a broad? Did this email come in from the 1930s? Saw a broad with huge jutting tits. My dad looked at me and said, it's like a dead heat in a Zeppelin race. That's pretty good. And then when he said he wanted to drink, he would say, I have a thirst that would cast a shadow. I love that. I love that because it just takes a little extra effort than just saying, I'm thirsty. Ignore Alien is this person's handle. I don't know what that means. But he says, my father was a Vietnam combat vet, an artist with folksy shit-talking. And here are some of my favorites. If someone he met was stupid, he'd say, that guy could fuck up a cup of coffee. Well, that's how you know that's an old one, because nowadays you can fuck up a cup of coffee. The stakes are a little higher. Now it's like, back then there wasn't 4 sizes of coffees. There was 2, and there were no pumps into it. There was no ice even added. There was no blender involved. There was no fucking shade grown. I don't know. But you can fuck up a cup of coffee now. If you're looking for something you can't find, and then ask, have you seen my blank? My father would say, if it was up your ass, you'd know where it was. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would know if it was up my ass. And guess what? You'd be the one yanking it out. He'd say, if he wanted to get laid, he'd say, I need to get my ashes hauled. I'm hoping he was divorced from your mom when he said that. No father should tell his son that he needs to get laid, even in code. And he said if he saw a beautiful woman, he'd say, I bet her pussy tastes like cotton candy. It will if she has chlamydia. It shouldn't taste sweet. That'd be bad. Couple overheards before we get to my guest. I always say I'm going to do 10 minutes, and once again, I'm at 22. Chris Stubbs overheard at a brewery. First guy says, oh, my guy's girlfriend has been blowing me up. Second guy, oh, yeah, why? First guy, she's a kindergarten teacher and fucking hates her coworkers. See, that's the problem with shitty jobs. When you have a shitty job, you act badly because you need to vent, you need to let off steam, you're angry, you're self-destructive, you cheat, you drink more, there's domestic violence. So don't work a shitty job. That's the key to morality. It's not tighten up, don't cheat, don't drink. Just don't be miserable at your fucking job. If it's that bad of a job, go to night school, whatever. Get a better fucking job. I've had bad jobs, and I've been an angry motherfucker. Didn't drink or cheat, but I did punch my wife in the face once. Thanks, Ellen. Neff Connor says, a woman leaning into the pharmacy window. Quote, the last medicine my doctor gave me made me hallucinate. Should I expect the same from this medicine? Well, if you have the right pharmacist, he's going to lean in and go, you just have to drink enough with it. You know how it says not to drink? A couple cocktails. You'll start seeing shit on this one. All right, let's get to it. Don't forget, pick up the premium membership. Over 800 episodes available to you for about $1.50. Is it about $1.50 a month? Most people charge $5. What the fuck are you not getting this for? Go to the website, fitzdog.com, pick up the premium membership. Also, I'll send you a message on Cameo. Grab a t-shirt, and don't forget to watch Childish. Listen to Childish, my other podcast. My guest now. I believe it's his second time on the show, or maybe, no, we were supposed to do it and we didn't when I was in New York. He's a New York comic, one of the young guns. There's a group of young comics coming out of the Comedy Cellar that are real good. Some of them have made it big, some haven't. I think it's like, what's her name? Wolf. She made it. But like Sam Morrell, Joe List, Andrew Schultz, guys that are using the internet to blow up. And we're going to talk to Mark about how he's got a special on YouTube that's huge. It's got like 2 million views. He's been on Conan, The Tonight Show, Colbert, all that shit. He's a really fucking funny guy, good dude. Here's my interview with Mark Norman. Welcome, Mark Norman, who's sitting in an apartment in New York that I want a tour. I want a virtual tour of, because you've got a neon sign in your kitchen.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. We're moving out. You can see some boxes up here on top of the fridge, and this is all boxes behind me.
What are
We're
the
all
boxes
packed
for?
up. We're moving out. Me and the lady, we're going to higher ground here. We're moving on up in the world to the east side.
Where are you now?
West Village, Greenwich Village, and we're moving to, we're on about 7th Avenue. We're moving to 6th.
And how far uptown?
No, not really uptown. I just wanted to sound like the Jeffersons.
Yeah.
But, no, we're actually moving pretty laterally, just a little more east.
6th Avenue and what?
Well, I don't want to give my whole Social Security away here, but, 6th Avenue near,
in the teens?
West 4th-y,
Okay.
IFC Theater, above Houston,
Nice.
fun area.
Yeah, I lived I owned a place on 6th Avenue and 16th Street for a lot of years.
Chelsea.
Yeah, it's sort of Chelsea. And, I'm happy to hear that you're cohabitating because based on your special, or I didn't see your whole special. I saw a lot of it. I don't know if you talk about it, but it seems like you have some serious relationship issues, intimacy and entrapment and all that.
Yes. Boy, you've hit it right on the head, Fatty. I'm scared of commitment. I'm scared of settling down. Life is long. We act like marriage is this willy-nilly thing. I don't ever want to get divorced, and everybody's so what's the word? Just like fluid about it. Oh yeah, I'll get married. Hey, I'm 34. That's what you do. I'll have a kid I hate and not get an abortion, and it just doesn't seem. No one thinks it out.
But the flip side of that, which is that you can find somebody who really brings you joy and peace and a sense of groundedness, and you can have children who you laugh with and grow up and adore you, and you become friends with. I mean, it's kind of what life is all about. I hate to tell you.
I get, but I'm a cynical cunt. I mean, how many people have said this is the love of my life? I'm head over heels. I hear music, doves are flying, and then 7 years later, this is the worst divorce of my life. She took half my money, or he cheated on me, or whatever the hell, and it's all shit.
Well, statistically, only about 50% of the time. So, glass is half full. You're a glass is half empty guy.
I am a huge half-empty guy. And look, comedy is a huge gamble and all that, but, at least you have some control over it, and your feelings get hurt. I don't want to hurt anyone else's feelings. I don't want anyone relying on me, and so it's a lot of therapy and a lot of money, but I'm getting better.
And what... How is your girlfriend deal with all of this? I mean, I always feel like in every relationship, there's one fight that you just keep having in different forms. And I would imagine that's your guys' fight.
Wow, boy, you are on fire today there, Four Eyes. You're killing it. It comes up every 10 minutes, it feels like. And look, she's right. She's normal. She's a normal human being.
Yeah.
And I'm a psycho, and she's a saint for dealing with me. So, I'm a lucky guy in that way. But don't you ever have that fun thing where you introduce your wife to your parents or your mom or whoever, and you were like, you get to see a normal person react to your psycho parents and, what made you so weird?
Right. No,
that is fun.
That is definitely, I think it helps the relationship because it takes the onus off of your faults when you can see that they were handed to you. You're really doing yourself a favor when you introduce your significant lover to the factory. Here's the broken factory that I came from.
Completely.
Yeah.
Completely. Yeah, look, they don't have any health care over here. They're underpaying us. It's a sweatshop in this house. Yeah. And the conveyor belt they're supposed to check you out on, they just skipped that.
Yeah.
It was like I Love Lucy over here with the fucking chocolates in my house. And
well,
it's
I think
shit factory.
It's all a factory when you think about it, because we are the definition of every single legislation that's been put in place to help workers through unions or through fucking FDR are broken when you're raising children. You work them, as a parent, you're being worked 150 hours a week. You get no breaks. Yeah. You're sexually harassed by your husband nonstop.
Right.
It's a horrible factory.
Horrible. I mean, you should get workers' comp and you should get sued. Should be a lot of lawsuits there.
Yeah.
It should get shut down. Like, they put the A, the B, the C on top of a restaurant
Yeah.
on the glass. They should put a big D on my dad's forehead.
That's hilarious. Every house should have a letter rating on the front of it.
Yeah,
based
completely.
on how they raise their kids.
Yeah, your kid's a doctor. Here's an A. Your kid's a comic. Here's a big fat F.
Right. Then if you want to adopt, then you got to show the rating, the letter rating.
Right.
Do you have
yeah.
siblings that have similar issues?
Well, my brother's a great guy. Like, I'm a piece of garbage, but he's the perfect son. Certified genius, skipped his senior year of high school. He went to the best high school in New Orleans. Skipped his senior year to go straight to college, full scholarship. Then he joined the Peace Corps in Africa for 2 years, helping kids learn math in French, mind you. And then now he works for some computer company. He's married to a doctor. He's got 2 kids. He's got a house. I mean,
You're
and I
fucked.
tell dick jokes.
I'm
fucked. It's horrible.
Yeah, but do you know how many comedians that are total fuck-ups are the successful one in their family? I mean, at least you get to be the black sheep comedian.
Right, I guess, but he's not funny, so that's good. He's a little robotic, and every Thanksgiving he has 4 beers and grabs my arm and goes, "Don't do it." And
does he really?
Yeah, I mean, he's just like, look, it's a hard life. My kids are crying all day. I'm
Yeah.
out of money. We got to buy a fucking minivan, So
Right.
I get it. So I'm on a private jet with Jerry Seinfeld. I'm doing some theater, and so it's a gamble, and it's a toss-up of who's got a better life and who's more fulfilled.
All right.
And I'll take mine any day.
Yeah, well, I guess that's the thing that you have to remind yourself sometimes when you're depressed. Like I have depression, and but as bad as it gets, I honestly don't think there's a time where I would ever switch my life with somebody else's. And that's not to say my life is perfect,
Of course.
But it's the life I crafted, and I've made a lot of choices, and I've worked really hard. And this is the best version of life that I can come up with. I'm living in Venice Beach, California, arguably the fucking coolest place to live. I've got a hot wife who's still got a good rack. My kids are reasonably well acclimated to life. I make a very nice living.
Yeah.
And I own a house.
You're in showbiz.
I'm in showbiz. I've never been on Jerry Seinfeld's jet, but I was on Paul Reiser's jet.
Oh, that's the same thing.
No, not really.
Well, curly-haired Jews who were big in the 80s.
That's
It's
right.
similar.
That's right.
Yeah, you both had huge sitcoms. No, you're good.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I'm a fan, so I know all about you. And you got a decent hog on you, which is nothing to sneeze at. And I think you're doing all right. I mean,
that would obviously be the YouTube clip that would go up this week on social media.
Right. I would kill for a big hog. That's
well, thank you for bringing that up, because I think it's important that good rumors are perpetuated,
Yes. Good sexual rumors are rare.
No, but thank you for saying that, and I feel like, right back at you. You're a comic after my own heart. You came to New York, made your bones in the New York City clubs among really the best comics. There's a lot of good comics in LA, but New York people are singularly focused on the stand-up. It's its own beginning, middle, and end. And
so let's focus on sneakers for sure.
Yeah, right.
No offense, LA. But I did a show last night at a bar, and it was like an outdoor thing. And Dave Attell shows up, and he's got new Corona shit. And it was fun. It's like, oh yeah, this is why I live here. Fucking Dave Attell's got new Corona material, and he's wearing shorts and a black button down with long sleeves and combat boots for some reason. But he's still a fucking comedy savant.
That's amazing. Is that the first show you've done since it started?
No. I've been a bad boy. I've been all over the road, doing clubs. I was doing the 50% capacity improvs.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I took a gamble. I think I had Corona in February, so I think I got rid of it, or whatever you want to call it. And so I'm doing the social distancing. I wear a mask and all that, but like,
But you're not wearing a mask on stage, though.
No, but the people, if they want to wear a mask, they wear a mask. All the waiters wear masks. I mean, it's up to them if they want to come out.
But there's a fair amount of people that don't have masks on in the audience, right?
Yes.
And they're laughing, which is the equivalent of coughing in your direction.
Yes. Coughing equals cough-in. And I don't know. I'm not going to any hot spots. I've canceled a bunch of dates since. But it felt like it was kind of coming back. The world was coming back. So I said, oh, fuck it, I'll go out a little bit. And now that it's spiking again, I canceled everything.
Let me ask you this. Because my agent told me that whatever money I was promised, I ain't getting anymore. And now it's like a door deal. You get like a percentage of the door. Is that how it worked?
No, I get a guarantee, and it's very low. But also, I live in a shoebox. I'm fighting with my large-breasted, also ample-breasted significant other, and I got no square footage. So part of me is like, yeah, fuck it, I'll go to Wisconsin.
No, I missed that.
I'd like to see a flight or get on a plane. I'd like to see a hotel room and do some jokes and make a little money's better than no money.
No, and also, I've been doing this shit for 31 years, and it is without ever taking off. I've never taken off more than 2 or 3 weeks in 31 years.
Same.
And so for me, the rhythm of my life has been so changed that I find myself driving past the airport and feeling drawn to it. Like I want to go through airport security. I want to the amount of stimulus that we get, and you live in New York City in the Village, so you're getting a lot of stimulus anyway, and Venice is pretty colorful. But there's something about being in airports where you're seeing little kids falling down, and you're seeing a hot chick, and you're seeing an old guy with
running.
a young woman. Is it the daughter? Is it the girlfriend? Like your mind is just going.
Yes.
And now, I miss that kinetic energy.
Completely. And we do more in a weekend than some people do in 2 years. We're going, I remember flying, okay, I'm doing a gig in Salt Lake City at Wise Guys. Oh, there's no Sunday show, but we picked up a theater gig in Toronto on Sunday. So you fly from Wise Guys to Sunday. Now you're in customs. Then you're in Canada. You're in a different country.
Yeah.
You do 2 shows at the theater. You get hammered. Then you fly back the next morning. You forget your passport. You got to go back and whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then you're back in your apartment. Monday at noon, and you're like, that was crazy.
Yeah.
And you met 1 million people, you sold some merch, you tried new jokes, you had a fight on the plane. I mean, there's so many little things.
Yeah.
And a lot of people go, oh, we're going to Charlotte this year, with the kids, and then maybe we'll go to Disneyland, and that'll be it for us.
Yeah.
Whew, that's crazy. I got to take a nap,
Right.
and you're like, what are you kidding? This weekend, I went to fucking Hawaii for a festival.
Well, not only that, I don't think about it. Like when I have to do those tours, to me, it's just like, that's the job. And I have trained myself to be very Zen-like with travel. And I shut down a little bit. I emotionally come down. I compress the emotions. I go through it. And then when it's my family's turn to do something for pleasure, I don't have that same sort of infallibility. I suddenly become kind of a pussy.
Right. Isn't that interesting? Because it's like a mob mentality. You just kind of go with the sheep vibe. We're miserable, I'm miserable. You know, you're cranky, I'm cranky.
Right.
But I don't know. I mean, Colin Quinn always says a plane is the only time he gets any peace because your phone doesn't work.
Yeah.
The Wi-Fi's off. You're just sitting quietly, maybe watching a movie, maybe reading.
Yeah.
And I feel the same way. Like sometimes if you can spin it, like, I got a 4-hour flight, that could be a nightmare, or it could be, I got a 4-hour spa in a way.
Right. Everybody wonders why comedians have so much airport material. It's because that's when we're writing. That's the only time we have peace.
Yes. By the way, I hate these cunts that go, oh, an airplane joke, a real. It's not the subject matter. It's the bit.
Right.
It's the singular bit. Louis C.K. has brilliant airport jokes because he's a good comic. So, don't just hear airport and check out. I hate that.
I remember hearing that same thing from, I forget the comic, but I had kids, and my new material was about having kids. And he goes, oh, you turned into one of those guys that talks about their kids? I'm like, no, I always was the guy that talks about his life, whatever the fuck that form of it is.
Right.
And that's what a good comedian does.
Of course, and also not to mention this one chooch is upset about kids because he can't get it up or has no date coming. But every other person is like, oh, now I like this comic. Now it's relatable.
Right.
So you lose one, you gain a million.
So do you see it ever happening? Do you think someday you will have a kid?
I love the idea of the Fet, like throwing the ball, the catch, and the noogies, and the Christmases, and the whole thing. But all the in between stuff's a real kick in the dick. The bathing, the flipping the plate over because they're not hungry, and the screaming, and the ruining flights, and
But here's my question to you, Mark Norman.
Yeah,
road
please.
comic extraordinaire. Young guy who is on all the lists. I went to your website. You're on all the lists. Village Voice's
pedophile.
Best Comedians of 2013. Comedy Central's Comics to Watch in 2011. Esquire's Best New Comedians 2012.
All right, you're killing me here.
Side Splitters Top 10 Up-and-Coming Comedians. Time Out New York's 21 New York Comedy Scene Lynchmans. You're on all the lists.
I was back when the lists were, less casting.
Yes.
We'll say.
There's not a lot of straight white guys on the list anymore.
Right. They're on a list, but it's a negative list.
But let me ask you this. Gauging, obviously our stand-up is a projection. It's an exaggeration.
Right.
But would you say that you are happy at this point? And that's a very sort of like, ephemeral term, but like, do you feel content at this point?
Yeah, I feel pretty good. I want the respect. I don't need fame, and I don't want to be a Seinfeld level guy who can't walk through an airport. That seems like a nightmare to me. Not to mention the internet backlash you get when you have any glimmer of success. So that's terrifying. But yeah, I just like showing up to like a guy's bar show and they're like, oh, hey, yeah, you want to go on and all that? And you're like, oh, wow, all that work paid off. And I just want like comedy fans to go, oh, Mark's got a new whatever out. Let's check it out. I like this guy. You want to be like a Tarantino where, oh, he's got a movie. We got to go.
Yeah.
That's what I want people to see my comedy as. And that's it. I don't need $1 zillion and all that, whatever. But so, yeah, in that way, I'm happy. But still, I mean, I can complain all day. Like, I can't get a special. I can't sell anything. I've pitched the show 1 million times, and I can't get the show off the ground. And I feel like I have no juice in the industry and yada, yada, yada. So,
well, that's,
I'm happy,
but that's like, do you consider that a trade-off of remaining a New York City comic? Because, there's a lot of guys that have stayed in New York and maybe could have been, bigger in the industry if they didn't. But then I also think there's an argument that you can be like Greg Giraldo was always, no, he never got anything that really stuck, but he was always like in pilots and getting deals and, all that stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you think that there's an equal trade-off? Because I do think when a New York guy comes to LA, he can line up meetings. Whereas if you live out here, sometimes it's harder to get those same meetings because they take you for granted.
Yeah, of course. Isn't that ironic? If you're the outsider guy, it's special when you do the improv. You're like, we got to get this guy. Then if you move there, they go, blow me, we've seen you.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know if LA is the big game changing move as much as it used to be. I mean, if anything, I'd rather go out to LA and do Rogan and get a ton more followers or asses in seats.
Yeah.
Because everything else is such a crapshoot. I mean, I can't tell you how many auditions I've put on tape and really dressed up. I'm doing Mark Twain. I got a fake mustache, a monocle, and a business suit on, like going all in. And, I got my girlfriend holding a boom thing or a mechanic's light creeper thing, just trying to get some light on me. And I got music in the background and put my heart and soul to these things and never seen a callback, nothing. So
I think
you start to just go with what works. Sorry.
I think Brian Callen got that Mark Twain thing, by the way. It's always him. He's always my guy. Every time I go to an audition, he's signing in ahead of me, and I'm like, I just put the pencil down, and I say, do you validate parking?
Well, he's a talent, but I heard he got the Rona.
Did he really?
I heard he caught it. I mean, this is all hearsay, but I heard he
lives a block from me, and he drove past me 3 days ago. I was on my bike, so we just yelled at each other, but I'll have to find out.
Perfect.
I thought
Keep
you were
the
going to say
mask
he
on.
got Me Too'd. That's everybody else in
Oh.
LA is getting Me Too'd lately.
I saw. It's wild in these crazy times. Corona, pandemic, Black Lives Matter, police defund. It's like now we gotta throw Me Too in. Like
Yeah.
it's getting ugly. Like what are we doing? Do we want this crock pot to overflow even more with tension? Like I'm not saying you shouldn't stop a guy who's a rapist, of course, but like I don't know. It just feels like we like problems.
Yeah, it seems like people don't like peace. People,
Yes.
it's almost like I think this country became so successful for so
Right.
many people that we got bored.
Yes. It
I
feels
mean,
like that.
What do you think about the statue thing? Because I feel mixed. Sometimes I feel like a statue should stay up as a reminder,
Right.
almost like say you get a girl's name tattooed on your arm and she turns out to be a cunt.
right.
You should have to keep that name on your arm to remind you to,
Yeah. That you
be
fucked
more
up.
have more discretion with who you're dating.
Yes, I hear you. Like the N word in Huck Finn, I think should stay in because the guy wrote the fucking book. It was a different time. That's what people said. That's history. The statues coming down, I kind of get because if you were black, it's just a reminder that. Also, here's a clinker about the statue that nobody brings up. They were put up during Jim Crow. It wasn't like they had the revolution and they just put them up. They were put up in later years as a reminder, like, yeah, we lost, but don't forget who's in charge here, there, darky.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think that's the shiv right in the kidney with a twist. It's
Yeah.
not just these statues; it's when they put them up. And I get it. Look, I think it's a little much to be like Columbus is Hitler, and you're like, all right, the guy flew here or took a boat here, and whatever. But like. I get the statues coming down. I get it. I'm not going to pull one down.
I love
but
your
I get
vivid historical depiction of Columbus. I get it. He took a boat here, and yeah, whatever.
And
Can
he
I-
killed a bunch of people.
That should go on his Wikipedia page
Yeah.
and source you. They should source you on that. No, I think it's a good point because like the Confederate flag, they say wasn't really a big part of the Civil War. It came up, I think, during Jim Crow as well.
Yes, exactly. I think it was a bit of an FU to the darker pigment folk. But I don't know if pulling a statue down helps anything. I think it helps feel better.
Yeah.
And it kind of is a symbol of like, yeah, we're making some changes around here, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah. It's a slippery slope because then you do wonder, like you said, where do you draw the line? Like at what point down the road do we stop being so fluid with our moral judgments that
Yes.
what stays up? I don't know. I really feel mixed about it, but that's my fucking problem, Mark Norman. I'm not one of these comics that comes out and says, "Here's how it is." And
Yes.
and then they yell at the crowd, they explain
Good.
it, to be Bill Burr. Oh, to be Bill Burr, where he's got it all figured out. Crowds fucking love that. They don't like the guy that goes up and goes, "I kind of see this way, but I also kind of see that way. I'm going to take a nap."
Well, at least you're not just fake, like, oh, whatever, that's the way the wind's blowing.
Yeah.
I'm 100% on board. It's like,
Right.
well, what you're a fucking pussy. That's what that is. Like, also, I just think we got a problem with discussion in America. We can't
Yeah.
discuss. Discussion is out, and discussion is key. If we can't discuss, what's the point of even having any opinion? Because you just go, oh, this is wrong. Well, then I'm a piece of shit. I get fired, and then you hate me.
Right.
But what about this? No, you're out. It's like that's not going to help anything, and it's going to be the death of our society if we can't discuss.
Yeah, and I think it started on the college campuses, and colleges were, initially set up as a place to
Yes.
discuss and to argue. And I feel like, have the speaker, have fucking Condoleezza Rice come to your campus or whoever that's going to cause controversy, and then make them do a Q&A and then have student discussions after it, and then let people write op-ed pieces in the local newspaper, and then people
Yes.
can respond to the pieces, and let everybody glean some understanding on their own from it instead of just having this aggregate opinion on everything.
I completely agree, and it's so close-minded. Ironically, their whole thing is open-mindedness and compassion, and yet there's no compassion or open-mindedness. Like they just go. They actually sound like Trump. They hate Trump, but they're like, nope, that's how it is, and move on. And if you disagree, I will ruin your life. And you're like, wait, what? Like, look at a micro version. Okay, speeding is illegal. You speed, you go to jail. Whatever. Pretty simple. Let's say my pregnant wife is giving birth in the back of my car, so I'm speeding to try to get to the hospital, and I get pulled over, and I go, hey, I'm just trying to get her to the hospital. I'm sorry I'm speeding, but this is an emergency. And they go, yeah, but you're speeding. Yeah. Well, I mean, there should be a little bit of back and forth here. Like, you know, and I feel like that's how we are with everything. Like, this guy said fag in 1988. Well, he's homophobic. No, it was a different time. He was... maybe he was gay. He's going through some shit. It was a normal word. Yep, he said it. It's like, so what? That's just it? Just like that? That's so stupid. That's the definition of stupid.
I know. And it's like when you see people, like when Kevin Hart, who I know you're a huge fan of because you sign off every one of your shows saying this is Kevin Hart. Like when he didn't host the Oscars because he'd said something 10 years before. It was just like, you know, and I love what he did. He went, oh, yeah? All right. Fuck it. Yeah. I won't do it.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with him.
That's the only way to handle it.
Look, remember in the 90s, it was nobody's perfect. Now it's, if you're not perfect, we're going to find out and ruin your life.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the Joey Diaz thing really bothers me because, you know, what he said, out of context, you don't know Joey Diaz, horrific, disturbing.
Right, of course.
But if you know Joey Diaz and you've been in a comedy room where he's performing and you get that, like Archie Bunker, who plays a character, he is not... Guess what? No one sucked Joey Diaz's dick. Have you seen Joey Diaz? He doesn't get his dick sucked. So he's spinning a tale. He's playing a character, and I don't think it completely excuses it because I do get where people would be offended by that. But at the same time, I don't think any credence was given to the fact that he is a performer and is a character.
I know, and I find a lot of irony in the fact that these people who want they watch that video and they're furious, and I get it. You don't know Joey Diaz, you don't know his shtick, you don't know his whole thing, but Joe Rogan and the other, I forget who the other guy was, they're laughing hysterically, and they're like, look at these sick men laughing, and then this side cancels somebody, and they love it, and they're the laughers, and they're the ones enjoying somebody's downfall and somebody's mocking and ridiculing. Right. It's like, don't you see the mirroring going on here?
Yeah.
It's always that way. It's always who smelt it, dealt it. Like, remember the guy who hates gays turns out to be blowing dudes under the bridge. You know, it happens every time. Yeah. And that's where the compassion has to come in. That's when the rational, critical thinking has to come in. But nobody wants to do that. It's almost the allure of ruining someone and looking like a hero and patting yourself on the back is so strong that it feels like people don't want the truth. They just want that win so bad that it clouds their judgment, and then they get canceled, and then they go, oh, fuck, this is horrible. I'm like, it shouldn't have to come to this for you to realize how sick this is. I'm sorry.
Right, there's a joy in taking people down. You know, we've always had it. I mean, going back to fucking, you know, Marilyn Monroe and the news, and we've always wanted to build people up and then pull them down and to feel righteous about it. And that's sort of what we signed up for when we got into show business. And granted, it's gotten worse, but that dynamic has always been there. And, you know, how you deal with it is, you know, I'm like you. I've got a whole routine about how I crawled my way to the middle, and I'm staying right there. I love the middle. Nobody fucking harasses me, you know, and I just kind of like, you know, if the project I'm on, if I'm on a show and it gets canceled, guess what? I sure as fuck wasn't the lead. Doesn't hurt me. If I write on a show, I'm probably not the showrunner. So if it ends, nobody's talking about how my show got canceled, and I go on to the next show right away. It's fucking beautiful.
Yeah. I'm sure you got a killer resume. You must have just a Schindler's List of failed sitcoms under your belt. And you can just slip right into any writer's room. You have so much experience.
And it's also like no longer important to me that I'm on a show that's going to win an Emmy or be considered a cool show. I want to be in a show where I respect the people, they treat me with dignity, we work reasonable hours, and then, oh yeah, I hope it's a good show, but I don't give a fuck. I'll do my best work. I'll try to make it as good as it can be, but it's no longer as important to me as just, I don't define myself even by stand-up. Like you said, I don't want to be Jerry Seinfeld. I joke about it when my crowds aren't sold out. I'm like, I'm not one of those guys that makes you uncomfortable and packs you in a room where people are breathing down your neck. You can put your feet up on my shows. I do that for you.
Yeah, that's a good angle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'd like to be as funny or funnier than Jerry. I think we can all get to that level.
Yeah.
But that sitcom and all that, I feel like that's kind of, it's come and gone. Like a guy like Andrew Schultz, who's killing it on YouTube. I mean, this guy was turned down by every, network and industry and all these people, and he just did it himself. And he's getting more views than Jimmy Fallon, and it's honest, it's topical, it's current, and it's finally real. I mean, I think that's why Joe Rogan is so popular, like him or not. It's fucking a guy with a T-shirt on going, huh? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? You ever do DMT? You ever do drugs?
Right.
Oh, you ever get a good blowjob? Or whatever the hell he's saying.
Yeah.
And Fallon is going, blowjob? What's that?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, shut up. Who wants to listen to this? I mean, look, I'll do the show anytime. But I'm just saying, like, I think authenticity is too important now, and we've tasted it, and we can't go back.
Yeah. No, it's true. And I think that, like how you monetize it all is the thing that's transitioning right now. Like your special that's really, really good, by the way.
Oh,
I really enjoy it. It's
we just hit 2 million views today, by the way. Fun fact.
Oh, fantastic.
Less than 2 months. So the public is clamoring.
Wow. That's really great.
Thanks.
And what is it called? Eating lunch or something?
Out to lunch.
Out to lunch. And I noticed the picture, the cover is you in a donut shop.
Yeah.
You got a donut in your hand. You're wiping your mouth.
Here we go.
But Mark, you haven't taken a bite of the donut yet.
This is Donut Gate. This is the internet. They just find the one flaw and they glom onto it.
Oh, has this already been said?
Oh my God! I got more emails about the donut no bite than the fucking jokes. That's the internet. It's like your little brother has to put his thumb right up your asshole.
That's
but
hilarious.
it was my second donut. All right, so I'm wiping from the first donut. There you go. Everybody happy?
Yeah. And I thought I was breaking new ground. So you put the special out on YouTube. So how did you finance shooting it?
I mean, I was making a little scratch at the time because I had a few credentials under my belt, so I was finally selling tickets for the first time in my life. September of 19 on, and I did a couple Rogans, did some pods, did this, did that, some Conans, you name it, and it was finally cooking. Then the Rona hit, but
Jesus.
I just made some real dough for a while there, and I paid like $15,000, and we sold out the Dynasty Typewriter 2 shows, and we said, well, fuck it, let's do it here. It was on a whim, and thank God I shot it when I did, and put it out, edited it, put it out, and it worked. Pandemic, great time to drop a special.
So you did the whole thing for $15,000?
Yeah.
Good for you, man. That's amazing.
Thanks.
And then with the 2 million views, you're making revenue from YouTube, right?
You got that right. So I've already made my money back.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you start to get these Louie models, like, fuck it, I'll charge $8. I mean, the guy made millions on that.
Yeah.
And everybody hates him.
Right.
So imagine if people didn't hate you.
Did you put out clips of the special as well, or did you just drive people to the special in its entirety?
I put out clips after, just to keep that train on the tracks, But I really did. I made a trailer. I shot a little sizzle. I really pumped it up. I got some big names to retweet it. You tweet it. I appreciate it.
Of course.
And Yeah, and that's all it took. And it, word of mouth hits, and that's really your best tool, the word of mouth. So if it's, I mean, I put my heart and soul to that thing of 4 years of funny bones building that thing,
right?
And eating my ass, and soccer moms walking out, and people in camo hats with a limp and a rascal hating me, and just put it together tight as a drum, and then we had a good set with the filming, so it all worked out. But
yeah, it's tight. It's fucking tight,
thanks.
man. You get a lot of jokes in there, and they're all solid.
Thank you.
My favorite joke, well, not my favorite joke, but there was a joke that deserved a laugh but didn't get one, which was you were talking to Alexa, and she's acting like a real girlfriend, and she goes, well, why don't you just ask Siri?
Yes,
which is
that
so
usually
fucking
hits.
funny, and it didn't get anything.
That's how these shows are. The Dynasty crowd is a little precious, if I might say so. And I think anything touching on like women or race or gay or trans, they were kind of like, hey, this is L.A., buddy, take it easy. So that one, I could have sweetened it, but I said, fuck it, let's keep it how it is.
Now, I hate it when every single joke is getting the same level of laughter. I mean,
I agree.
One of the best comedy specials of all time is Andrew Dice Clay, The Night the Comedy Died, where he shows up at Dangerfields. There's like 30 people there. They didn't know he was stopping by. They're not all fans. And he fucking bombs, but he owns it. It's just like, it's such a like lesson in how to be, even when you're doing well, you should have that energy. You shouldn't give a fuck.
I completely agree. Do you ever watch UFC?
Little bit.
I've been getting into it. I'm not a big fighter guy either, but like I've been getting into it, and I noticed that the best fighters are the ones who can take a hit and keep going. Right. It's not just the best punches and kicks. It's like they got a fucking iron jaw. Right. And I think it's the same with comics. Look at Richard Pryor. He could sit in silence, which is the equivalent of us just getting pummeled because we're freaking out. I haven't gotten a laugh in 10 seconds. I'm freaking out. And that's why he's so great. It's that you got to be willing to take a fucking big wind up to the chin and still keep going. And our wind up to the chin is silence.
Yeah.
So if you can hang in there, you're good.
Yeah, and I think Chappelle has that too. And there's something about, like, I love guys that smoke on stage. I mean, it goes back to the old guys that used to smoke cigars on stage because there's such a confidence in saying, fuck you, I need a drag right now. Right? Or like, Lewis Black walking over to the stool and taking a drink of his, and just hanging out.
Yeah, Ron White, he does
Oh, that's what I meant. I meant Ron White, not Lewis Black.
Oh, yeah. But George Burns, I mean, that cigar was a punchline indicator, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an old move, but I'm a coward. I'm up there going, that's why I have so many jokes. I'm like, they hate me. They're bored. My parents didn't even pay attention to me. Why would these strangers pay attention to me? So I got that old childhood bullshit going through me, and I'm panicking.
Yeah, it's tough. And it's especially tough if you're in a room that isn't your room. Like, L.A. is not your town. And so you probably felt even less likely to, take a breath. You really wanted to just give them what you had. Yeah, but it doesn't come off that way. To me, it just comes off as like, a guy who's worked really fucking hard at writing and getting the jokes tight, who's just digging in. You don't move your feet. You just fucking plant your feet and you send it, man. Just fucking.
Thanks.
Yeah, really good.
I appreciate it.
So, all right, I had a bunch of things I want to ask you about. Now,
please.
First of all,
we chatted up a lot.
You posted a clip recently of you and I, and it's so funny because I had never seen the clip because I only performed my half in L.A. And did you perform your half in New York?
No, I was in L.A., but I guess we were different shoot days.
Yeah, we didn't see each other, but it's you and me in the clip together, and this is so funny because this is my mug that I drink from.
I have the same mug.
Really?
Yeah, it's somewhere. It's packed up right now, but I have that exact mug. That was the only thing I got from the show.
Yeah, so I don't know if people go to Mark's Instagram and you can watch it. It's a pretty funny clip, actually.
Yeah, it's not bad. You were great, and that was a big gig for me because that was 8 years ago, or something crazy. I remember I slept with the makeup lady from that shoot.
She was hot.
Yeah, that was a big one for me. I was, I had some TV confidence. I was I was in my 20s, and Yeah, I asked her out, and she was like a little older than me.
I was going to say, she was a bit older than you, yeah.
She dated like a guy from Whitesnake or something crazy.
Uh-huh.
And I like an older broad, and she was vintage, baby.
Yeah, and I'm not going to name the celebrity, but there's a celebrity that she's the go-to makeup artist for.
Oh, is that right?
And that's most of her career, yeah, is this one woman. Yeah.
We had a fun little fling for a while. Like I'd come back to LA and see her again, and she came to New York once, and
yeah,
she was a good egg.
Oh, that's nice, man. I miss those days.
I mean, some gals, like, you just take a shot and it works.
Yeah.
You know, and then some gals take a shot and it goes horribly. But she was into it. I was into it. Very consensual, very sultry. Good.
It'd be so funny if, like, you asked her out and she was offended and said no, and then all of a sudden, like, she's putting red down here and white around your mouth, and she makes you look like a clown.
Yeah, or she sends me out in blackface, and I'm like, there goes my whole career. Yeah, she was fun.
Yeah.
Still buddies to this day.
Are you really?
Yeah, I mean, we're not doing Christmas cards, but she'll send me a nice email. I'll send her one.
Yeah.
She's probably got kids now, or she's, in an old folks home, but yeah, she was cool.
Yeah. Now a big part of building up this special is also you tweet like a motherfucker, and they're like jokes that take time. You're not.
Oh yeah.
You're not just saying like, I'm having a waffle for lunch. Isn't that crazy? It's like, I want to read some of your tweets, your recent tweets.
All right. I slave over them because I feel guilty about how fun stand-up is, and I feel like if somebody's following me, I gotta deliver a little bit.
And Fauci is like a COVID groundhog. Whenever he pops up, I know we have 6 more weeks of pandemic.
He looks like a little groundhog. It's a perfect. You need the image.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I try.
That's perfect because it actually is 6 more weeks.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that. How great is that? Perfect. It all lines up.
Grocery store. Bag boy says paper or plastic. Customer says whatever you pick. Bag boy says sorry, baggers can't be choosers.
All right, that's a cute pun. I had to throw something up. It has to be a joke, and that's my little rule. It has to have a punchline. So I had to throw something up real quick.
I don't enjoy puns in stand-up, but I like them a lot on Twitter.
Agreed.
I like Brian Kiley as maybe my favorite Twitterer.
Brilliant guy.
He has this joke. He goes, my son just made his first my son just made his first confession. Took the cops 3 hours to break him, but he finally talked.
Brilliant, Joe. He's got another one I love. I call my wife Pumpkin because she gets smashed around the holidays. Oh, he's got another one. I'm so Irish, my blood type is O apostrophe.
That's fucking great.
And then he says, I have a really Irish name, Brian Kiley. Very Irish name. Not as Irish as my uncle. His name is Potato McSmallpenis. Come on!
Oh, he's the best. Yeah, he was just on the podcast recently. If you enjoy this, go back and listen to the Brian Kiley podcast.
I will do that.
You know when you drop water on a hot stone and it evaporates immediately? That's how I am with compliments. Wow.
Don't you feel like that? It just drifts away. And then when somebody writes a mean comment, it consumes your whole brain.
It puddles.
And when somebody writes a nice one,
it's
gone.
It puddles.
Yes,
and
it
becomes
puddles.
Stagnant, and mosquitoes start being born out of it.
Yes.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? Like, I think about that with stand-up even, is like, I can stand in front of a room with 300 people that are all laughing. They're all, like, explicitly giving you approval and affection and attention, and then I can go back to the hotel room an hour later and feel totally empty.
Same. That's why you got to keep doing it, just for that re-up. It's almost like gasoline. It brings you back.
Which is why it's so hard for us during this pandemic, because our significant others are now expecting like full partnership.
Yes. We're at 50% capacity, much like our crowds.
Yeah, that's right. And I've always had an out of like, I'm tired because I just got off the road or whatever. Now there's like, I'm kind of stepping up and I'm kind of digging it. Like I feel really close to everybody in my family, closer than I've ever felt. But I don't know. I don't know if we can be cured or if we need to be. Sometimes I wonder what it will be like when I'm, retired. Does anyone ever retire from comedy?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, let me think. There's definitely people who have not done.
I mean, Jackie Mason's still out there doing it. Carl
Is he?
Reiner was tweeting right to the end. He would do talks at theaters and
Albert Brooks. What about Steve Martin?
Yeah, that's true.
But that was like a special. Okay, Eddie Murphy, another one. He kind of quit.
Unfortunately, what's her name promised to quit, but then she came back.
Ellen?
No. Well, yeah, Ellen is a good example. No.
Hannah Gadsby.
Hannah Gadsby.
Yeah, I thought you were quitting, lady.
Yeah.
Pick a side.
Yeah, can I show you a quick clip? Can I call you on something?
She trashes stand-up in everything she does, and I'm like, well, if it sucks so much, why the fuck are you doing it?
Right.
God.
Listen to us, two straight white men, bad-mouthing Hannah Gadsby. We're the problem.
We're not allowed to have an opinion. But then if we don't say anything, we're silenced. So we're being too silent. So I don't know what the fuck to do. Just yell at me, kill my kids, cut my dick off. I'm sorry. Yeah,
I mean, I'm trying to just listen. I'm trying to do the thing where you just kind of listen for a while, but then but eventually it's going to boil up. I don't know.
Yeah, something's got to give. It feels like this can't last. I mean, who has that great thing of like, it used to be hair metal, and then that has to dip into grunge, and then that has to dip into hip hop because things have to mutate. You can't just have a fever for 2 years. It's got to break.
Right.
I don't know.
We're in a fever right now.
For more cowbell?
Or I was thinking more of Foreigner. Got a fever of 103.
Oh.
Come on, baby. Yeah. Can you do more than dance?
Ooh. That's a classic.
No wonder batteries die. It's gotta hurt to never be included. That's a fucking good joke.
Come on, that's a bumper sticker or something.
So then, before you go on stage, will you look at your recent tweets and sort of decide whether it's stage worthy?
I'm not really a one-linery kind of guy. It's pretty rare when a tweet makes it into my act, and if it does, I usually expand on it into a chunk or a premise kind of thing. But it's pretty rare when the actual tweet is in. Right now, I'm doing a lot of Corona stuff, so I'll throw some tweets in about Corona. Right. I had a big one last night. It was, even Batman can't save us now. The wrong part of his face is covered.
That's hilarious. You know why that's so funny is that Trump said something like that. He had it wrong. Like, I forget how he said it, but yeah, he had the mask backwards, what he was trying to say. But I don't badmouth Trump on my podcast because I feel like people have already heard it so many fucking times.
I know. Jesus.
I don't know what I can add to the dialogue, and it's almost like as a comedian, I can't come up with shit that's crazier than what he's already saying.
It's too on the nose. He's such a loon. And then, like, Norm Macdonald, my hero, he said that I don't do Trump jokes. It's too easy, and he got shit. They're like, you don't do Trump jokes? How dare you? It's like, the guy's trying to be original. You're taking this in some politicized fucking angle here. He's just trying to be different than the rest of the people. Isn't that what we want our comedians to do? Nah.
Right. Well, he's like you. I think he's got a touch of the Asperger's. Would you say you have Asperger's?
I got something. I can't make eye contact. I assume everyone hates me. I'm a little touched. I got insecurity, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I got something.
Yeah. And what kind of therapy are you doing? Are you doing like the go back to childhood shit? Or are you doing like, or are you doing like cognitive behavioral therapy where you change the thoughts?
It's childhood. Like, let's get to the root. What the fuck your parents do to you? Let's go to the upbringing. Yeah. Let's get to the source. Try to rewire the shit from the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I did when I was your age. And then you get older. Yeah. Then you get older and you go, all right, just how do I get this thought out and another thought in?
Right.
I don't care where this thought came from. I just need it out right now.
Wow. But you seem, I mean, I've been, listening to your stuff for a long time, and you seem to have really stayed true to you, and I feel like you've improved yourself You've worked on yourself, but you're still not a fucking wacko. Like, you're not like Alyssa Milano or something.
Thank you very much. I think it's like you really remind me of myself when I was younger. Like I was heavily into self-improvement. I was trying to have relationships, even though it was a struggle for me.
Yeah.
And I was very focused on stand-up, and I think stand-up was something that worked symbiotically with self-improvement. I do think that you can harness some of these good feelings. Obviously, you can harness the fact that you put in a tremendous amount of work on good faith.
Yes.
On faith, because it is a leap of faith to get into this business and think you're actually going to make a living from it. And I think when you start to be successful, as you have been for a few years now, then you can really take that in as maybe not just water disappearing on a hot stone.
Yeah, but I have so much guilt, and I'm not even Catholic. I have so much guilt about accepting a compliment, and then I'm like, am I getting cocky? Am I being a piece of shit because I let that one sink in? And it's a bad brain up here.
Because that's a very Irish thing, because I think in the Irish culture, you're always taken down. If you start to get a little bit haughty, somebody's always there to go, oh, look at you. You're better than me? You think you're better than me? And but
I have that for
but
sure.
I thought in Jewish culture was just the opposite. I thought the Jewish mother always told you that you were wonderful and you deserved everything.
Well, I'm not Jewish either. I'm nothing. So it's even worse because I got nothing to glom onto. I got no excuse. My dad was just a real son of a bee. Like this thing haunts me to this day. One time I was killing at like a dinner table with cousins and all these kids when I was younger, and killing. I was running the table, standing up, they're sitting, I'm killing, and my dad walks in and goes, "What are you, holding court?" And it fucking crushed me. I mean, I felt like I was 2 inches tall, and I still have that. Every now and then I'll be like at a dinner party or something, getting a laugh, and I just hear, "What are you, holding court? You fucking dweeb? Shut up. Nobody laugh." I'm like, "You're right." And I sit back down and I eat my fucking lima beans.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, that stuff like that. You ever have the thing where you're at a clothing store and you're in the dressing room, you're putting the clothes, and you look pretty good. You look snazzy, you look cool, and you go, "What, do you think you can pull this off? Who the fuck do you think you are? You think you're fucking Elvis? You think you're Fonzie?
Yeah.
Take this shit off and return it. You can't pull that off, you fucking loser." And you go, "You're right. I'm bringing it back to the lady."
You don't belong in here. You're an Old Navy guy. Fat, fucking saggy pants and blousy shirts. You don't deserve nice shit.
Bland colors, shitty sneakers, white socks.
Yeah.
Shut up and put on your fucking T-shirt, you piece of garbage.
I know. I'm always so jealous of people that have like a real style. Like,
I know.
Yeah, I'm just like, wow, what confidence and sense of self you had. Somebody told you were okay as a child. God damn it.
I know. Must be nice. I get a haircut. I walk up, my friends goes, "Oh, haircut, huh?" And I go, "I know, it sucks. I hate it." It's in there.
Yeah.
And you can't, no matter how many years of therapy, it's in the wiring. It's in the walls.
Right. I'm going to tell you something, and I'm not making this up. Having kids was the biggest thing that made me not feel like that as much, because you just stop thinking about yourself as much because you're so busy thinking about them. And it's like, it's all Eastern philosophy. It's like you get brought, your ego goes down because you're brought out of your own sense of self a lot more.
Oh.
Now, I'm not trying to talk you into having kids.
No. I've always wanted them. I just don't think I'd be a good dad, because I don't want to put this shit on another person.
Right. But you're moving in with how long you been living with your girlfriend for?
2 years, something like that.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I'm hanging. It's a struggle every day to commit, but she's a good egg, and I'm lucky to have her, blah, 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 but I don't know.
It's tough to find somebody that'll put up with, does she have like a 9-to-5 job?
Yeah.
So that's tough because the hours are opposite, and then on top of it, you're gone on the weekends when there's a wedding or friends are having a dinner party and all that shit.
Yep. But as my therapist says, hey, she knew what she signed up for.
That's right.
So,
yeah, my wife she's never given me a hard time about that ever.
Wow, yeah, that's rare.
Yeah,
Good for you.
I got
Good
lucky.
for her.
I wish you the same. All right, listen, before we go, I want to promote. You got I don't know which your dates are still valid. I'll read the ones that were on your website. You're going to be July 9th at the Skyline Comedy Club.
Yeah, that's still hanging in there because it's not a hot spot. Wisconsin is good.
Dr. Grins in Grand Rapids, Michigan, July 16, gone.
Gone.
Miami?
Up in the air.
Dude, that's a little hot. I think Miami's a little hot spotty right now.
Oh, yeah, that's Florida. Yeah, that's probably going to go.
All right. Comedy Zone in Greenville, South Carolina.
That's out.
That's out. Wise Guys in Salt Lake City, August 21st.
I think that's a good more than a month away. So I think that one will hold.
All right, so how are people going to know whether or not the shows are... Yeah, I guess you'll tweet out?
I'll tweet out, and I'll get on my web gal right now and tell her to do some snipping.
Get on that web gal. And then the special Out to Lunch is on YouTube. You can also get it on Google Play. You can get it on Spotify.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's all over the place. And
all right. Well, thanks for watching any of it.
And don't get distracted by the donut. He had one previous to the one he's holding in his hand.
Yes.
He's wiping that. Also, when things get back to normal on Tuesdays, the hot soup at the Fat Black Pussycat.
Yeah, it's a comedy cellar adjacent. You know, it's one of those like lounge rooms they have.
Sure.
Like, kind of like the belly room.
Yeah, I know it well.
There you go. If you come by, come do a set. We'd love to have you.
Oh, I'd love it. I want to be that guy that shows up at a bar show and people go, hey, you want to go on? Yeah. And I go, how about me, huh?
You will. We will do that. Even if we book you, when you show up, we'll still go, hey, you showed up. You want to go on? We'll still make it a thing. And I have a podcast also.
Don't forget to go back and watch old episodes of How to Be a Grown-Up.
I don't know if you can find that one. That ran for about 8 minutes.
And Mark Normand with a D is his handle on Twitter and Instagram. So that'll do it. Mark, this is a pleasure because I know I've been in New York. I was in New York for 2 summers working on Crashing, and we tried to get together. And you were on the road so much, and I was working so much, it never happened. So I'm glad we were able to get it together.
I totally took that personally. That's how much of a psycho I am.
Did you really?
You were like, I lost my recorder. I left it on the Amtrak, and I was like, that motherfucker is bailing.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Is that true?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I kept calling Amtrak. I filled out a form, not Amtrak, Metro North, and then finally, they kept saying it's not here. And then finally, one day, I was at Grand Central. I went to Lost and Found, and I said, "Do you happen to have?" And I described the date and what it was. They fucking had it. They had my recorder.
What?
It was like $900 worth of equipment. It was just sitting in a bag and Lost and Found. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It ain't the old New York, I'll tell you that.
That's so funny that you would take that personally, that the day of I would cancel, as if I didn't realize until that afternoon that...
Well, that's the psycho in me. I just thought, oh, what a perfect excuse to get out of this. But I'm such a lunatic because obviously you set up the pod time and all that, so...
Right. Oh, that's funny.
I'm a crazy person.
Well, let's do it again soon, and continued good luck with the special.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for having me, and it's an honor, and praise Allah.
Praise Allah. Okay. Kevin Hart, everybody. Have it a hand for him.